Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us here today at Oshodi Health and Fitness, health, wellness, and fitness tips and resources. Today, we will be discussing
squat jumps and box jumps, the similarities, the differences. We're going to go over some of the demonstration, and we're going to make sure that you understand the purposes behind performing the jump squats versus the purposes behind performing the box jumps, and how you can correlate both of them into a training program or just into something that you want to do and challenge yourself with. While there are some similarities between both the jump squats and the box jumps, they're two very, very different exercises. And we can kind of give them the 80-20 rule when it comes to cardio and power, right? So generally speaking, we're gonna view squat jumps as more of a cardio-based plyo exercise, while box jumps are a power-based plyometric exercise. And once we separate the two between cardio and power, then we can get more of an understanding of how we can incorporate it based off of what we want, our overall fitness goals, and what we're looking to achieve, whether it's temporary, short-term, or long-term goals for the long run during the fitness journey, and also being safe. One of the things to address is what I see a lot of times everywhere, boot camp, social media, is one of the squat jumps. Now, there are two different ways to perform the squat jump, and you'll see that in the demonstration. But the one thing that I want to address is a squat jump is still, there's a power-based component to it. And if you're trying to come up, shooting your arms down is not the way to perform a squat jump. And I know you're gonna you see it a lot, it's all over. But again, we're not shooting stars, we're not rocket ships, we're powerful humans, all right? That our explosive power, and if you saw the running tutorial, you see power gets generated from here, from this movement, not from this movement. This movement, throwing the shoulders forward or rotating the shoulders up, that's where you're going to generate power. All right, so again, squat jumps isn't necessarily a power base, but there is some components of power incorporated in it. And of course, the power component is utilizing your arm swing into the jump squats. But again, it's not a reverse motion as you come up. This, no, you don't want to see this. You can put the hands here, or you can put the hands here, swing them up to perform, and you'll see it during the demonstration. Generally speaking, when we're looking at jump squats, we're looking at cardio-based exercise, we're looking at exercise for leg work, we're looking at exercise for speed, boot camp type exercise, or exercise for calorie burning, all right? That's perfect. That's a perfect sum up when we want to talk about box jump squats. When we talk about box jumps, we're talking about power building and how to become more explosive, how to become more powerful, how to generate more strength and power and abilities from this hip area. All right, when we talk about, again, let's come back to jump squats. Jump squats, we're getting a lot of work in this area. All right, box jumps, we're getting a lot of work in this area, specifically the glutes, all of the hips. All right, so again, when it comes to similarities, differences, that there goes a very detailed overview of why you have box jumps that differentiate entirely from jump squats. And you can incorporate both depending on what your overall fitness goals are. But again, you want to make sure that you understand the reason behind box jumps, the reason behind squat jumps, and how to incorporate or take out, depending on your overall. We already discussed that there's 2 different variations for performing the squat jump, right? So the first one is without the arm swinging. When you want to start the squat jump, you're going to be right here, and this is generally speaking, just literally a squat position, all right? This is one way to start the squat jump. The other way is here. Again, down in the squat position. Now, we're doing squat jumps for maximum height, then that's what we want to do, all right? You want to do squat jumps just to keep it cardio-based. We're keeping it here. Now, again, squat jumps are primarily cardio-based exercise, but for purposes of improving and getting better, you may want to improve just on your cardio, or you want to also improve on the strength and power that you're able to generate from here. The end position for the squat jump is literally how you start, especially when you're going for repetitions, all right? You end off right into the squat position, whether it's here, squat position. How you start is how you finish for the jump squats. Boom. When it comes down to any power move, you want to make sure you're generating power from the hips, all right? So again, when it comes to any power move, it's about explosion, it's about power, generating as much strength in a very fast manner, also known as power, all right? So you want to make sure you're here, and it's about the movement of this. Once you generate that potential energy, now you got to turn it into kinetic. And the faster you can move the hips, the faster you can explode out, the more power you're able to generate. All right, so when it comes down to the start position for the box jump, you want to get started anywhere from here to here. It's relative to how you feel more powerful at, but you also want to make sure you get about just inside of shoulder width apart here, and be ready. Then drive the butt back. Don't bend the knees forward. Drive the butt back. Start position. All right. Now the reason why the arms are shot back is because we're generating power. All right. So for a box jump, we want maximum height. We want maximum impact. We want maximum power. So again, as you remember from the running tutorial that I did, make sure you're generating power from the shoulders as well. So start position. Some people can get a little bit lower depending on how comfortable you feel, but we're not here. Drive the butt back and be ready to explode. The end position for the box jump is you want to find it anywhere from this position to an almost standing position with the slight bend. Always have a slight bend in the knees. Whenever you're landing, you always want to have a slight bend in your knees. But when it comes to the box jumps, for power and explosion, you want to make sure that you land in a somewhat you don't want to land in a squatted position, right? You want to land somewhere just about the same distance as how you started. The same depth that you went down to get started is just about how you want to finish off your position, because again, that's now your power position. That's where you can maintain your safety, you have your joints bent, and eliminate injury and eliminate too much trauma or stress on your joints, all right? So right around the same position you start is where you end, but now you're here. The most simplest way to consider the differences, let's look at the sport of basketball, right? Let's look at the jump that one takes when they're taking an uncontested jump shot, right? It's not much of a jump at all. Here, just like this, right? Sometimes a little bit higher, but again, it's very, very different as far as when somebody's going for a dunk, right? So you can see them generate all the power and come up. Again, both of them have cardio components, both of them have power components, but the power component to a dunk, to a jump for a dunk, is superior to the power component to an uncontested jump shot. That's as simple as it gets right there.
Bio boxes are the same height, 18 inches. On the left, you have jump squats without the arm swing. On the right, you have box jumps. Now the jump squats on the left are with the arm swing, while the same box jumps are displayed on the right-hand side. Here's the top point of all 3 different jumps.
One of the major controversies with box jumps is some people feel like it's not necessarily a measure of one's explosiveness because there's a component of the landing, right? And you'll see just in the end position, right? When you talk about box jumps, you can land in a box jump like this, you can land in a box jump like this, and as you get higher and higher, you tend to land a little bit lower in your box jumps because of how high you're jumping. But now, what we have to understand is the other component to power in the box jump is how fast your hip is moving, all right? Because again, when it comes to the box jumps, you'll see it's about how fast and how high, how mobile, how flexible your hips are as far as getting your feet to land rather than landing on your shins or landing on your knees. Right, so the reason why there's some controversy with regards to that is because again, it's a matter of if somebody has a 36-inch vert versus somebody who has a 28-inch vert, that person with 28-inch vert can do higher box jumps because they have more mobility and flexibility in their hips to hit, let's say, a 40-inch box jump versus that 36-inch vert who can only hit a 36-inch box jump. All right, so again, understand the different controversies within that, but again, for you as the individual, the better you get at box jump, the more explosive that will entail for you, the individual. Again, just make sure you're understanding your landing points. That's why it's going to be good to record your box jump so you get an idea of where you're landing at.
This still shot helps demonstrate perfect example of landing position, 18-inch versus a 30-inch.
As you're going higher and higher in your box jump, are you landing more and more into a squat position? So just consider that. But overall, box jumps, great, very explosive, but you want to be careful how frequently you're doing a box jump because again, it's a very intense, high level plyometric exercise that's a lot of stress on your joints. Okay, so just be careful, be mindful of that, and incorporate it with moderation.
This comparison places direct emphasis on the impact the arm swing has on the amount of power you generate. This comparison shows the high point of a jump at 18 inches or at 30 inches and how very similar the heights were, regardless of the height of the box.
Now, keeping in mind, we have the box jumps and we have the jump squats. There are also similar exercises that include the power jumps and the power squats. And I'll briefly cover that with some demonstrations, but we're not going to get too much into that. That's a completely different story. But again, focusing on the box jumps and jump squats, that's what today's work is for, today's tutorial is for. So let's move forward. Let's say we have a 1 mile competitor versus a 100-meter competitor, right? So 100-meter is 1/4 of a lap. We've got 1 mile, that's 4 laps around, all right? So that 100-meter sprinter, the more explosive, the more power they're able to generate by doing box jumps to help each stride and get that hip strength and improve their hip mobility, the faster they'll become in that 100 meters. But that 100 meters is not gonna be helpful when they're talking about 1,600 meters, which is 1 mile, all right? So again, jump squats to help build endurance, to help with that cardio component, and really help that mile runner get better at running that mile, right? Jump squats for that long distance runner, which is going to help with endurance. Box jumps for that sprinter who's trying to become more explosive with each stride, because again, you have a limited number of strides within 100 meters. So you make the most out of each stride, you're bound to get better and better and shrink your time in that same distance. Right. Now you know the difference between box jumps and jump squats. Now it's up to you to go out there and really implement them according to your overall fitness goals, whether it's short-term utilization of jump squats and long-term utilization of the box jumps, vice versa, or you take some out. You don't want to tend to use them year-round. But understanding the differences and why they're important and how they can improve your overall health and fitness goals is what's important. All right. So when it comes to generating power or becoming more powerful, more explosive, you want to use box jumps. When it comes to a cardio component, cardio endurance, or building up the legs, shaping up the legs a little bit more, or speed component, then we can use jump squats. Again, we can combine the two, we can separate the two, but the two are never the same, all right? One cannot substitute the other. They're used for completely different reasons. Now again, with the box jumps, you can use an endurance component to it as well.
This is a perfect example of how to incorporate box jumps into an endurance type workout.
You want to be careful. You don't always want to consider endurance workouts with very explosive, very powerful, dangerous moves, such as the box jumps. But again, with the right kind of work, with the right kind of application, it's safe to be done. You've got to make sure you do your research, study to understand what your body's able to accept. Or you can get me as a personal trainer, also offering virtual training now as we continue to improve this virtual library of exercises. Make sure to check us out.
Thank you once again for joining us here at Oshodi Health and Fitness, health, wellness, and fitness tips and resources. For up-to-the-minute posts and updates, please visit us at our website at www.oshodehealthandfitness.com. You can scroll down to the bottom of the page and you'll be able to subscribe to our email list. Once you've done that, you can also click our YouTube link and also subscribe there. Again, we'd love to have you back. Look forward to having you back to learn more about the health, wellness, and fitness tips and things that can help you along your fitness journey. Thank you.